Hey folks, this is Vince the Evil Dungeon Master here, the Evil DM, back for another episode of Railguns and Dragons, bringing back the Chaos Earth series here on my channel. Some people had said that I had not finished the series, and I probably should finish it because they were really interested in Chaos Earth, and people like to hear other people talk about a game, so I wanted to talk a little bit about it. And NEMA Soldier Peacekeeper is the next one up at bat. So this class, or OCC so to speak, is most often overlooked as a class to take when you're playing this game, often because it doesn't have robots. So you're not in a giant mech, and you're kind of just basically soldiers on the ground in these little powered armor suits, kind of like think Starship Troopers with the little suits on. But you're that's it. You're in peacetime, you're peacekeepers that work with support the police, customs, and various law enforcement agencies such as CIA, FBI, ATF, NSA, and others. So you will fight criminals or fight crime, but when it comes time to when there is response from NEMA, you will be the ones on the front line with these giant mechs. Like I said, you're going to dismiss it at first, as it even says right here, while some readers may dismiss these characters at first glance because they don't pilot mechanical juggernauts. Closer scrutiny will show that the range of characters available under this OCC is considerable, specialized, important, and fun to play, so it might be worth looking it over. Now, attribute requirements, there's none really, though the higher your physical strength and physical endurance are is probably better. Certain categories may require certain attributes, and 60% are male and 40% are female. There are some specialties that you can pick or roll. I'm kind of the person that when I'm a GM, I want my players to roll. I don't like them picking. I think it's a lot more fun to just randomly do things, but that's just me. Again, ask your GM what you want to do, what they want to do, I should say, in their campaign. So there's different things, like you could be a communications expert, a demolitions expert, you're just a regular soldier, a pigman with heavy weapons, a transportation specialist, a medic. Some people don't like playing the medic class, I know. Point man and a scout. So here's a general idea of what they look like compared to the mechs. And yeah, you're not this powerful giant mech running around blasting things, killing things because you don't have the firepower, but you are soldiers on the ground. You could sneak around and do things. It could be a fun game if everybody was part of this OCC and they were a specialized unit, and maybe they had the ability, as a GM, you can maybe add the ability that they can jump in a mech, so to speak, maybe one of the smaller ones, if they just as, a backup, if they find one abandoned or find one or maybe in a pinch, they have to use one, but they don't really need one. It could be a very fun adventure. These could be the people that go and decide, scout out buildings, try to find food and water and things like that for the society. It's not a boring class, and people are going to overlook it thinking, I'm not a giant mech, so it's going to be stupid. No, this would be a fun time. While the giant mechs are fun to play, and yeah, you get a lot of firepower behind them, they're noisy, they take up a lot of room, they smash things, they get noticed far away. These people are the ones that are running in and out. These people are the ones on the front line hiding, doing things for your group, and having a lot of fun. There a lot of stuff that they get, a lot of skills. They get a lot of related skills here, secondary skills and equipment, fatigues, dress uniform, standard MDC body armor, laser rifles, grenades, police special. I mean, they get it all. They are probably a fun class to play. And I think a lot of people overlook it, and a lot of GMs overlook it as well, because it's really just, nothing. You're going to get squashed by the bigger stuff. But if you're smart, you won't be. So you can also get cybernetics and add that to it, and look at that. Ooh. And there is a cybernetic Rips Bionics source book for just a slew of implants and bionics. Next up, we do have the NEMA Field Engineer. When it comes to building and fixing things, NEMA Field Engineer is a jack of all trades, trained to handle situations in the field and under combat. So this means that the character has basic training as well as mechanical engineering skill with the emphasis on military criteria. This individual is a troubleshooter looking to prevent and avoid danger by maintaining equipment and helping others. He or she can assess structural damage, figure out how to embrace deteriorating walls, and structures, pull victims out of debris without causing a collapse, make quick field repairs, perform jury rigging, cobble together a patch that will hold up long enough to make a rescue or escape, detect tracks and crumbling structures, identify hazards, and working miracles in the field. Very short-term miracles, though, because the jury rigging may not hold up for more than a few minutes or a few hours at best. Now, I don't know how many people are going to pick a NEMA field engineer. He is kind of, as it says right here, in some ways this character is a combination mechanical, wizard, and detective. And only as a detective he studies physical and mechanical structures, searching them for weakness, flaws, aberrations, tampering, salvage components, and trouble. Sure, I mean, it's kind of a weaker OCC, but if somebody wants something a little bit different, they have this ability to play this type of class that's going to be challenging. They have these classes in most of these games, so their people have a variety, and this is one of the varieties you'll have to overcome as a role player. And I know me personally, I like to take a challenge. If I get low stats, I will more than likely roll with them because it's a challenge. If there's a different class to pick and I can't be the firepower or somewhat, I usually play a face in my games. So this is one of those that is a specialist type of class. And let's take a look at what he has. So you have to have an IQ of 13 and you have to have a physical prowess of 11 or higher. A high ME and physical strength is helpful, but not required. There are more men in this position than females, which I don't understand why it makes a difference, but whatever. The specialty of this OC is mechanics, repairs, operation of machines and equipment. Robots are used both to defend the field engineer while he works as extensions of his eyes and ears to inspect and observe. So this is the guy in your group that likes to be the tinkerer, likes to figure out how to build stuff, as far as jury rigging and fixing ways in and out of situations in the field, not exactly building things from scratch, but he has the ability to do this. I could see this guy is probably an officer in like in the army. So if it was like maybe like a lieutenant, captain, maybe even a major, somewhere around there, if it was using rank system, this guy is your guy you go to and he figures out strategic plans. And it's really all that is all it really is. It's just you have to work with this. Now, here's the Fire and Rescue, which is another class, also known as Roscoe, that probably, I like this. The Rifts Bionic Source with along with the suit implants is $13.95 for 112 pages. Doubt you could find the book for $13.95. Well, maybe you might be able to use, but I like that they have the old source prices in here still. So these are your Fire and Rescue people. They do have their own power armor. They do have their own ability, but they're not really a fighter. They're more involved with pulling people out. They're the secondary team. Now, you can have plenty of adventures with the Fire and Rescue teams when you have the giant mechs go in, blow everything up, destroy things, and then your players are the ones that go in and they have to search and investigate and try to find people that are trapped, try to find things that are trapped and save them and bring them back. Now, it could be fun and it could be, I don't know, boring. I'm not sure what type of game you want to play, but this is a scaled down version of it. Now, the bots and everything like that, the guardsmen and the gunbuster and the silver eagles and everything like that are a higher level in the campaign. This one right here, you know, you're lowering down the power level here of the game. Now, they could still be blown to bits by MDC gunfire, which could be some of the interesting parts of the game. You're going in and rescuing somebody in the middle of a battle, and you have to be careful. It's kind of a risky role play. It might be a little bit fun to do this. I'm not sure of maybe a whole group doing it, I'm thinking. I don't know. It might be a fun, interesting... Yeah, it might be interesting. Let's see what they have here. PS of 14, PP of 10, a PE of 12 or higher, 65% male, 35 female. Basic kind of skills they get. Basic setup as everything else. This is more of like a detective class of rescue and things like that. So, I mean, it may not be the best thing to mix with the group. So, again, when you're playing Chaos Earth or anything Rifts, or literally anything inside Palladium, you have to take into account there's going to be people that are up here on the power level, and then you're going to be here or with them. If you're down here, you're probably not going to want to play that class along with here. So the GM's going to probably be like, nah, dude, you're not playing that. Intelligence officer, if you want to play, or an intel agent, excuse me, it's an intelligence officer, spy, undercover agent. You could use this as if you want to do like kind of like a James Bondy type adventure, your intelligence officer, you're going to spy. But I mean, during the Chaos Earth apocalypse, the only thing you're really going to be going against, because all of Earth is together, is these giant demons and monsters and bugs and things like that. So you're not really going to be undercover, so to speak. But let's just take a look at this real quick. They're investigators, purveyors of information who function as reconnaissance scouts, infiltrators, spies, and undercover agents. Their job to investigate, observe, track, and uncover criminals, terrorists, and enemy activities. I guess you could do this as someone that's, maybe there's a terrorist group that is fighting against NEMA and trying to, the idiots that would be going against humanity. Oh, I'm a human, but I don't want to be a human. Those idiots, the terrorist groups, things like that. I guess you could have an adventure on that scale as well with the NEMA intel. You guys get it. I would think this would be a smaller group as opposed to a larger group, maybe like 2-3 players, maybe 2. I would say 2 most. And they have to investigate and try to figure out these other groups that are destroying NEMA-based equipment and sabotaging them. That might be a way to do something. You go undercover, things like that. These espionages must think quickly on their feet and be adaptive, resourceful, and independent, while at the same time able to see the big picture and work as a member of a team. In Chaos Earth, they're given the dirty jobs of tracking down looters, bandits, rogues, killers, NEMA, and military personnel, cults, and dissent. So you're going to have cults. It's a post-apocalyptic world. There's going to be cannibals. There's going to be cults. There's going to be religious fanatics, things like that. These are the guys that are going to go infiltrate that. And you can have tons of adventures on that on a lower scale again. So it may not be something that you think of when you think of Chaos Earth, but it is something. IQ of 10, ME of 11, MA of 11 or higher. Roughly a 50-50 split between male and females. I would say it doesn't really matter because this is going to be more based upon, I don't know why, but I would think as an intelligence officer, spy, and undercover agent, you're going to want physical beauty as well, because you're going to want to be able to charm. You're going to want to be able to impress. You're going to want to fast talking people. I'm surprised that it's not one of the requirements, but I guess not. But so yeah, there's some interest. I love the artwork on these things. Totally awesome. And then we get to our military specialists, which is our robot commander, another class. It's the military specialist, one of the that has complete access to all independent robot systems, from probes to combat models, including the combat drone, in which the coalition states would turn into a Skelebot 250 years into the future. Remember those? Yeah, everyone loved those. As a rule, M-Spec officers will have 2 spider probes, 1 flying. So if you want to play a class that is using bots as a drone, and the military does do this now, they do have drone specialists and use drones to actually attack things now. This is basically your class. I could see it going toe to toe with the rest of them and be fine and no problems at all. IQ of 10, ME of 12, PP of 10 or higher, 60% are male, 40% female. And then you have the MOS fields, electronic intelligence, manhunter, assassin. Oh, that'd be fun to play. A manhunter, assassin. Sabotage and harassment, that'd be also fun to play. And the basic training that packages that come with it. And I'm going to leave it there because then we get into like paranormal stuff. But I just wanted to cover like the basic other classes that were kind of overlooked for the NEMA specialists and things like that. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you do, leave a like below. Don't forget to comment on the video and tell me what you think if you played any of these classes and how it went with your group. Don't forget to subscribe if it's your first time here. Check out the rest of the videos here on the channel for Palladium, Railguns, and Dragons. I have things for Star Wars, AD&D. Just dig through the history of probably 5 years of history with the stuff of videos here of all different things. I'm going to head out for today, so keep it original, keep it old school. God bless everybody. Good night.
Don't ever laugh as the hearse goes by, for you may be the next to die. They wrap you up in a big white sheet, from your head down to your feet. They put you in a big